The confidence you're trying to feel doesn't exist. You are searching for a state of mind, a feeling of certainty you believe is the prerequisite for action. You think, once I feel confident, then I will speak up, then I will start, then I will build. By the end of this, you will see confidence for what it is, a receipt for work you have already done. You know the feeling intimately, the inner voice that replays every mistake on a loop, the physical clench in your stomach before you have to perform, present, or simply exist in a room where you feel like an imposter. This feeling is perfectly rational. Your brain is a magnificent prediction engine, and it runs on data. It constantly asks one question, based on past performance, what is likely to happen next? When your internal file cabinet is filled with evidence of hesitation, of past failures, of times you backed down, the engine makes a cold, logical prediction. It predicts you will fail again, so you freeze. You wait for a different feeling to arrive, a jolt of courage, a wave of self-belief. You are waiting for a ghost. That feeling of certainty is a story told by people who have already done the work. They are describing the destination, while you are stuck at the starting line asking for a map that only appears once you start walking. Your brain needs proof. How do you manufacture proof when you feel you have nothing to work with? You stop trying to change how you feel. You start collecting evidence. Confidence is a lagging indicator of competence. It's the result, the byproduct, the exhaust fumes of repeated, successful action. Think of yourself as a lawyer building a case for a client you're unsure about. Yourself. A lawyer builds a winning case by accumulating facts, witness statements, forensic reports, precedents. The case file gets thicker, the argument becomes stronger, the feeling of confidence grows in direct proportion to the weight of the evidence collected. Your self-belief operates on the same principle. It needs a case file. Your job is to start filling that file, one tiny piece of evidence at a time. The goal is an action so small, so microscopic, that your internal critic barely registers it as a threat. You want to become a writer, your goal is to write one good sentence. That's it. You hit save, you just logged your first piece of evidence, Exhibit A. You want to get physically fit, your goal is to do one push-up, then you get up, Exhibit B. The action creates a tiny piece of evidence, and evidence is the raw material of belief. Think about the last time you learned a complex skill. Driving a car. Did the confidence come before you first turned the key, your hands sweating on the wheel? Or did it arrive quietly months later after you'd merged onto the highway 100 times and parallel parked in a tight spot without thinking about it? The confidence was a record of those actions, a summary of the data you collected. Your brain, the prediction engine, eventually had so much evidence of successful driving that it changed its forecast. It started to predict success. But these small wins feel trivial. They feel insignificant. Your brain, conditioned for self-criticism, might dismiss them. One push-up means nothing. Anyone can write one sentence. It will try to invalidate the evidence as soon as you log it. This is the moment where most people give up. They win a small victory, their inner critic explains it away, and they end up right back where they started. So how do you make the evidence stick when your own mind is the hostile witness? Consider the story of a young man in ancient Athens. His name was Demosthenes. He was born with a severe speech impediment. He was frail, awkward, and his first attempts at public speaking were met with laughter and ridicule. He had a mountain of evidence proving he was a failure as an orator. His ambition was to become the greatest speaker in Athens. The gap between his reality and his abyss, he had zero confidence. And he had every reason for it. He did something extraordinary. He stopped listening to his feelings of inadequacy. He started manufacturing new evidence. His solution was brutal, systematic, and entirely action-based. He built an evidence locker. To strengthen his weak voice, he would go down to the seashore and practice his speeches by shouting over the roar of the waves. To cure his speech impediment, he would fill his mouth with pebbles and force himself to speak with clarity. He built an underground study to practice without distraction, and shaved one side of his head, making himself too embarrassed to go outside. This forced him to stay in and work. Every single day, he cast a vote for the person he wanted to become. Each speech delivered over the crashing surf, each clear phrase enunciated around a mouthful of stones, was another entry in his case file. He was physically forging the competence that would later be perceived by the world as unshakable confidence. He wasn't born an orator, he built one. Piece by painful piece, Demosthenes became the most revered statesman and speaker of his generation. His confidence, when it finally arrived, was made of stone and sea salt. It was earned. This level of singular focus feels almost impossible. It feels like a story about a titan, a hero. You're living a modern life with 1,000 distractions Demosthenes never knew. You need a way to rig the game in your favor. You need a force multiplier that makes collecting evidence easier. That multiplier is your environment. In 2012, researchers conducted a fascinating experiment on a principle called enclothed cognition. They gave subjects a series of tests measuring focus and attention. One group wore their normal street clothes. The other group wore a white lab coat. The group wearing the lab coat performed significantly better. The simple act of putting on a garment associated with attentiveness and precision actually changed their cognitive performance. The coat didn't just change how they felt, it changed how they thought. This is the secret weapon. Your environment is not a passive backdrop. It is an active participant in creating your identity. The clothes you wear, the room you work in, the people you talk to, the information you consume, these are all casting votes. They are constantly telling your brain who you are. If you work from your bed in your pajamas, you are casting a vote for leisure, for rest. Your brain receives that data. If you have a specific chair in a specific corner of your home that is used only for focused work, you are putting on a lab coat. You are signaling to your brain, in this chair, we are the kind of person who focuses. Same person, different environment, different result. You can't feel your way to a new identity. You can, however, build a stage that demands a new performance from you. A clean desk demands clear thinking. A bookshelf full of books on a topic you want to master invites you to become a student. A gym membership creates an environment where acting like a fit person is the default behavior. Stop trying to win the war inside your own head. Change the battlefield. Your surroundings are either a headwind, fighting your progress, or a tailwind, making it inevitable. What is your environment voting for right now? So you are collecting evidence. You are engineering your environment. You are building your case page by page. But there's a final, quiet transition that needs to happen. The crossover. The moment the identity shifts, it's the point where I am a person trying to get fit becomes I am a runner. It's when I am trying to learn to code becomes I am a programmer. This shift happens when the weight of the new evidence becomes so overwhelming that it finally outweighs the mountain of old evidence. It's a tipping point. Your brain, the prediction engine, looks at the data, it sees 100 entries of you going for a run, rain, or shine. It sees only a handful of old entries of you on the couch. The forecast changes, it begins to predict success. The identity itself updates. This happens neurologically. It's the result of 1,000 boring, unglamorous, invisible repetitions. The breakthrough is a myth. The breakthrough is the 1,000th repetition. No one sees it. It happens on a quiet Tuesday morning, but it's real. This process is about what you can influence. It's true that some doors are harder to open for some people than for others. The world is not an even playing field. This is about building a core of earned confidence, a personal record of competence so robust that it works for you even when the field is tilted. It's your internal foundation. You have been operating under a false assumption. You thought confidence was the key that unlocks the door to action. The truth is the reverse. Action is the key. Confidence is the sound the lock makes when it finally clicks open. You can turn the key without hearing the click. The door will open just the same. Stop trying to feel confident. Just collect one piece of evidence. Today, write that single sentence. Make that one phone call. Do that one push-up. Your only goal is the action itself. The feeling is irrelevant. It's noise. Focus on the signal. The signal is the work. Your future, Confident self is not going to descend from the heavens. It will be assembled, it will be built out of the receipts you start collecting right now. The proof of work you are about to do. Go get your first receipt.